what's one thing what was one quote unquote lolly that you've picked up recently that has inspired you or maybe changed a little bit in the way that you work with your athletes?
I think well, there's a couple of things. Two things that I'll mention. The first one is collection of data. So a lot of high performance programs have a lot of data, and they lean on the data significantly. Example could be an S&C coach has, I don't know, had some players jump in the gym for some plyometric work, working on explosive power, and then they go out on the field and the coaches want the athletes to be jumping for lineouts, right? And the S&C coach says, oh, you can't because I've already done 15 jumps this morning in the gym. And so that to me is an example of data interfering with becoming better rugby players. Probably poor planning as well, to be fair, but I think understanding what data's for, it's to basically put into the pot, and then you leverage your knowledge, your experience, and your gut. And so I think that that the data is only sort of one of four things that should help in your decision making. It's not the only thing, and too many people use data as the thing to make the decision from. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is just trying to build trust and rapport with the athletes. If they know you care and you're there for them, then you get trust, you get openness, you get collaboration. When I started, I'd write a program and tell players to just do it. Whereas now I'll write a program and I'll talk the program through with the player and check that they're happy with it. So anything we need to tweak or change. So I think that's really, really important.
I love that you said that, especially in the context of following up on that discussion on the data, which can potentially be quite sterile. And then you sort of almost flipped and said, but mate, we're humans. We need connection. And that is one of those biological tenets of success that we need. We need trust. We need rapport. We need our tribe. We need human connection. I love that.
Absolutely.
Hey, you just said something that actually I found very surprising, because I've just been with my son. My son's 13 and he loves rugby. And so we've been sitting down, and, when you get those opportunities to have father-son, father-daughter time with you've got two daughters, you just lap it up, you know what I mean? So we've been sitting down, we've been watching the Full Contact Netflix series on the Six Nations in Europe. And it was brilliant. I loved watching it. It was very well done. But one of the things that stood out from you just said, these countries had incredible training bases. Like you go to where they're working at in Paris, and you're like in France, and you go, wow, this is incredible. And then you just said the All Blacks don't have a home base. My first question is why? What is it? Is it a financial thing? Won't Adidas? Is Adidas still the primary sponsor? Won't they build the All Blacks home training center like that? Seems crazy to me.
Yeah, it's so the All Blacks did have or New Zealand Rugby had a base 20 years ago, in a little farm town, middle of nowhere. And the first time a camp was held there, it was cool, it was novel, everything was in one spot. And then next minute you're having a few camps there and you're based there, and you're having to travel to and from different cities for games, and there's nothing to do. And so again, you go back to that humanistic sort of model of we are humans and we need connection and we need things to do. We need to decompress. We need stuff outside of rugby, etc., etc. So where things are at the moment is New Zealand. We only play. I mean, I think this year we're only playing. This year I think we're only playing 4 games. 1, 2, 3, 5 games in New Zealand out of 14. Okay, so 5 games in New Zealand out of 14, and so that means the All Blacks are in New Zealand for 5 weeks. Can you imagine if we were only in one city for 5 weeks and the rest of New Zealand didn't get to see their idols? So I think it's about the players or the team being able to go to different cities in New Zealand to play games. And so wherever we're playing, we go for a week. So we've got 2 games in South Africa. We're there for 2 weeks. We've got 2 games in New Zealand against Argentina. we're in a different city each week to play Argentina. And so we go to Europe, we go up north at the end of the year, and we're in a different country each week. And so that's why we don't have a base, because if we did have one, we'd only be there for 4 weeks anyway.
Okay.
And when you're away as a team for, if you think about it, we're together for 5 weeks. You're away from home a lot, and so if you've got 5 weeks and one of them's in your home city, then you get to go home and see your family for a week that otherwise you would have been locked away somewhere else. So there's lots of different things. I think that I quite like and I think the players do too, the fact that, you know, everything's different every week. The food's different, the hotel room's different, your roommate's different, the field's different, the gym's different, the city, the shopping, everything's different. So it doesn't get monotonous. And when we're playing at the end of a long year, you know, these guys starting rugby this weekend, and then our last game is the end of November. It's a long year, so that lack of monotony just creates a bit of energy, a bit of spark, where you're just rolling. Each week's different. It's stimulating, you know. So I think it's important, and I mean, I love it. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
I'd probably get bored shitless if I was in the same gym every single week.
Pretty good at packing your suitcase, mate.
Oh, mate, yeah, I've got some crazy routines about that.